What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video. We're going to have some fun and we're going to talk about other dark side clones that I would love to see in the game. Clones I think that may or may not have been better choices for this Lord Vader lineup, but also some other clones that I think down the road, if we ever do want to kind of build out the dark side clones and get some more options in here, some characters I think that are going to fit really well in here. And you probably already know I'm a huge fan of clone troopers. Apologies ahead of time if I start geeking out here and really getting emotional about this, but yeah, man, I love the clone troopers. That's no surprise to anybody who's been a veteran of this channel. So this is something that we're gonna get deep into lore on clone troopers. We're gonna talk about at least 5 options here in clones I think would be fantastic opportunities to have as dark side clone troopers in this game, whether it's through their actions, their personalities, how they carried out their orders. We're going to break that all down in several different clone troopers today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you find it helpful, you find it informative, you just enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into it. So the first clone I'm going to bring up, and this is one that, this is one I think should have been in the Lord Vader lineup, is going to be Commander Fox, CC-1010. He was part of the Coruscant Guard. He was extremely loyal to Palpatine and Vader. He was there for Order 66, and if you also know the comic lore with Jocasta Nu, he was part of the team of clones that surrounded the Jedi Temple and prevented her from escaping while Vader and the Grand Inquisitor defeated her. But this is one that I was surprised when it was not brought up as one of the dark side clones because of that loyalty, because of Order 66 being loyal to Vader, and just how everything went with that. Like, I figured this was going to be a shoo-in for the dark side team. I figured like we'd get something where, you know, if like Vader falls low on health or something, he like kills Fox and then Fox boosts his health and damage or something, like we go with 5s with the sacrifice. I figured we get some kind of funny mechanic with Fox there, because you know the comics, Fox forgets to tell his clone troopers that, hey, this dude in this black suit with this red lightsaber, he's actually one of ours, he's not a Jedi. Somehow completely forgets to tell his clones that. His clones fire on Lord Vader, completely logically, and Vader gets mad and snaps Fox's neck for failing to tell his clones that, hey, don't shoot at Vader. So this was one, like, man, seeing this over Scorch really surprised me. I think some people saw Scorch coming when we got CX2 as one of the clones, but I felt like this was a way more logical choice for that lineup. But yeah, between the loyalty, between Order 66, between the fact, just that and the fact of his loyalty was to Palpatine first, and if they told him to kill Jedi, he wouldn't even think about it twice. I don't think he even needed Order 66 to be enacted to go carry out the Jedi Temple Purge. He would have just done it because Palpatine commanded it. That's why I think he was an easy choice here for a dark side clone trooper. And next up, we're going to talk about Alpha 17. This is Alpha 17 or A17, A-17, if you, surprised by that one. I know, who could have figured out that clone designation number? This was like the progenitor ARC trooper, really, and he was assigned to Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker very early on in the war, and he was just in the early comics, and he gets a line that I absolutely love, which we're going to get to in a second, but we really first see him at the invasion of Kamino, and we're running the risk of the clones falling into the clone tanks basically falling into the hands of the Separatists. At which point, Shaak Ti, who is with Kenobi and Anakin here, they're trying to figure out a plan of how to stop or how to get the clones back. And then Alpha just kind of sets up a self-destruct code, which surprises Shaak Ti, and she asks what he's doing, and he drops the line, "They grow up loyal to the Republic, or they don't grow up at all," which, man, what a hard line. This dude was willing to blow up his brothers before they fell into the hands of Separatists. I mean, come on. Like, that is that's just perfect. And funnily enough, he actually did not become the clone that was assigned to Anakin and Kenobi in the Clone Wars TV show. We actually said got Rex, but they didn't want to have Alpha there because that was just too many characters with the letter A at the start of their names. You have Ahsoka, Anakin, Alpha 17, and also didn't really feel like it was a recognizable name either. So So Lucas pretty much objected to him being the assigned clone. That's how we got Captain Rex, which was perfect. I don't think anybody complains about Captain Rex. But yeah, man, this dude was evil. And it even goes on beyond that, where there was a battle at Jabim where the planet of Jabim was basically rebelling against the Galactic Republic. And during the battles, Alpha was arguing with Kenobi and basically wanted to assassinate all of the political leaders on the planet to try and put down the rebellion. And Kenobi absolutely refused. There was also an instance where Alpha wanted to kill, or was perfectly fine with letting hostages die, and Kenobi had to override him on that one too and tell him, no, you are saving the hostages. This dude did not care. He wanted to get the mission done. Consequences be damned. He was perfectly okay with blowing up people with assassinations. Perfect dark side. Come on, man. That's just perfect dark side behavior there. So next up is going to be Commander Faye. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know how it's pronounced correctly, but I'm just going to say Faye. F-A-I-E is how it's spelled. But this was a clone trooper who was directly under the command of Quinlan Vos, who was someone that people were hoping we see as a Jedi Vanguard leader, or the Legendary instead of Mace Windu. But yeah, if we saw Quinlan Vos, I would have loved to see Faye be one of the dark side clones, because that would have been hilarious. But Faye was directly under Quinlan Vos. He was there during the Battle of Kashyyyk. He was there at some other battles. I think Seleucami. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Salukami. That's probably even worse. But he was very much at odds with Quinlan Vos during his time under his leadership. He was very much by the book. He was no nonsense. He wasn't really flexible, and that really bothered Vos. And this all came to a head with Kashyyyk and of course with Order 66, where famously you have Commander Gree, who was beheaded by Yoda there when Order 66 was enacted. But also Faye was paramount in capturing Luminar Unduli there on the beachhead at Kashyyyk. And then Quinlan Vos managed to escape, and Faye was very upset and chased after him with some other clones. And Vos was in the woods, and Faye kind of sort of tracked him down, but Faye called out and said, hey, Vos, either you show yourself, or what I'm going to do is call down an orbital bombardment. It's going to kill you, it's going to kill me, it's also going to kill this Wookiee village that we're sitting right next to. And I'm perfectly okay with that if it means killing you. And Vos was so furious by this, he just jumped out of the trees and just cut down Faye, like right then and there. Just, yeah, was not going to have that nonsense. So, yeah, this dude was willing to blow up an entire village of Wookiees just to kill one Jedi. Like, that's some dark side behavior there, am I right? But, yeah, this is another one I thought was going to be... I thought was like, yeah, you know what? If we get Quinlan Vos, Faye would be a really, really cool option for this. Another one I want to bring up is going to be Slick. Good old Slick. If you haven't seen some of the earlier Clone Troopers show or seasons, you may not know who Slick is. But Slick was a clone sergeant, didn't even have a designation as far as I know, but he was one that hated the Jedi Order before Order 66 was even a thing. This dude hated Jedi so much, he willingly became a double agent for the Separatists, giving Asajj Ventress information, and she would try to give him money, but really he just wanted to be free of everything. And yeah, this dude just thought Jedi were incompetent, which, to be fair, he was correct. The Jedi notoriously were not good generals, and a lot of clones died because of that. And that was something that's brought up in Legends books and some of the lore as well, is that, yeah, a lot of clones died because of just bad Jedi tactics, and they held it against Jedi for a very long time. So not everybody was exactly hesitating when Order 66 was enacted, but yeah, he hated Jedi so much that he was willing to just, you know, give information to the Separatists, and if that meant some clone trooper brethren died along the way, that was perfectly okay with him, because he just wanted the Jedi out of the way. This was one, when I saw Darkside clones, I was like, man, if we're looking at clones who hate Jedi, Slick is a great option. Dude wouldn't even have to be like here Order 66. He'd be like, okay, no problem, yeah, I'll go kill some Jedi for you. Like this dude, yeah, this was one that, if I remember correctly, his betrayal of the Republic was so bad they actually had to cover it up too, because they did not want to have the information get out that the clones just weren't 100% loyal to the Jedi, because I think that would probably cause some issues with Order 66 as well. You know, you don't want the Jedi getting suspicious of the clone troopers. So this is one that, yeah, we have Tup with the inhibitor chip that caused him to accidentally start Order 66 too early. But this is one that, yeah, I just don't think there's any reason why he wouldn't be a dark side clone, you know? Hates the Jedi, wants to kill them, wants to betray them. This is one I think is an easy option for a dark side clone. And finally, we're going to talk about one final clone trooper before I talk about some honorable mentions, and that is going to be Dogma CT-6922, another 501st member. We've had a couple of 501st characters on this list, but Dogma, I think, is an interesting one because the saying, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," that can apply to Dogma in a roundabout way because of his blind loyalty to Krell, in that he just did not believe that Krell could be a traitor. And Pong Krell, if you haven't seen that series within the Clone Wars, Pong Krell turns traitor. He sees what's coming with Darth Sidious and the Jedi Order, and he turns to the dark side. And in the ensuing chaos with that, he betrays the Galactic Republic. He sets up an ambush of the 501st against the 212th, and a lot of clone troopers end up killing themselves. And you know, the clones figure out about it, and when Dogma finds out that he was responsible for killing some fellow clone troopers, it kind of broke something in him. And even then, he still refused to believe that it was Pong Krell that was responsible for the betrayal, and tried to stop clones from arresting him. He also tried to arrest Rex for treason at one point during the arc. This dude was blind loyal to Pong Krell, and that blind loyalty took him down a path that ultimately led to him executing Pong Krell, because he was just so horrified by what Krell had done to him, had done to other clones, and he just murdered him, just right there, just shot him in the back. Not even, just shot him straight in the back while Krell was taunting Rex and other clones, and Krell even called him the biggest fool of them all because of his blind loyalty, and this dude just, it broke something in him. He's a tragic character in that regard, and what sucks too is when he kills Krell, the other clones just understand, because they get it. Like, they totally understand what he was doing. They get why he did it, because it's an interesting arc. I don't know, maybe he starts out as a dark side clone trooper and like redeems himself. But this is one, I think, just because of how he handles himself early on, how it culminates in him executing Krell. This is an interesting character for Darkseid. I think could be complex, and is one I would love to see as a Darkseid clone in the future. Now, honorable mention I want to bring up real quick is going to be Commander Cody. This is one I was really interested to see because in the comics, after Order 66, he does serve the Empire, he helps with the enslavement of Kashyyyk, and we don't see a lot of him. But from what we see post-Order 66, he remains fiercely loyal to the Empire. And then in Bad Batch Season 2, we get a couple scenes with him and Crosshair, and man, one scene that's always going to stick with me is after their mission. You know, Cody's talking to Crosshair, and they're talking about following orders, and Cody drops the line of, you know what makes us different from battle droids? We make our own decisions, our own choices, and we have to live with them. And that line makes you realize that dude regrets what he did to Kenobi for Order 66. And he's serving the Empire, he's still Darkseid at that point, and very quickly after that, he deserts. But man, like, that's one I would love to see, like, maybe a touch-up to Commander Cody, or maybe just a whole new, like, Empire Cody, but something here where we get him with the Empire, but, you know, as, I would love to see it as, like, a reverse for Crosshair, where Crosshair has the shaking at the start, where as the battle goes on, we get some kind of attrition mechanic where Cody starts to doubt himself with the team and starts to become less effective as the battle goes on. I don't know how effective that would be, but that would be a really cool option for a kit. I would love to see that. How do we do that? You know what? I'm going to figure that out in the future. Maybe I'll make a kit for Commander Cody as Empire. The other one also I want to bring up is Crosshair. we have Crosshair scarred. An Empire Crosshair would be pretty cool. I don't know how soon we could get him. It would feel really weird if he came out soon after we got the Bad Batch scarred or the Bad Batch Crosshair, but I think an Empire Crosshair in the future would be really cool. And I would love to see what we get with him. You know, good soldiers follow orders. That dude did not need Order 66. Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he didn't have the inhibitor chip, but he was so loyal to the Empire. He said, sure, no problem. I'll carry out Order 66. So yeah, Crosshair would be a really cool option as another Darkseid clone, just because he had no problem carrying out Order 66 and he didn't need an inhibitor chip for it. That's gonna kind of wrap up my video. I would love to hear from you guys. What are some Darkseid clone troopers you would love to see in the game? What are some options you think I missed? Did you think I got any of these wrong? Do you agree or disagree? As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.